Fiona.
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good, very good, very good. Such a pleasure to have you on the Business Worth and Mindset podcast. And thanks for giving us your time actually to come and speak to us. So it's hopefully should be good to hear from you.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
That's all right. That's all right, because you're quite busy, isn't it? Lots going on, yeah, projects and all stuff going on. So yeah, it's
Yes,
good
it's
that
very
you
busy.
yeah, good. So I thought maybe initially, I mean, we get to talk about a number of things that you've done as well, because you've done amazingly even during lockdown as well, and that's the sort of success that will tend to inspire some of our listeners as well, and you probably have golden nuggets and advice that you can share with us as well. But we thought maybe to begin with, if we could just capture a bit of your background as well, a bit of your story, because a lot of people, when they hear about what people have been through, the successes, the challenges, they can in a way relate to some of that, which gives them a bit of inspiration and hope that if Fiona, having been through certain things, can achieve certain things, maybe there's hope for us as well. So it's good to get that bit of background and your story from humble beginnings and what your journey has been. So if we start off like that, just tell us a bit about you, maybe childhood, growing up, and life, and to get to where you are today. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I started off being inspired by the people around me. I always looked up to business owners, family members, entrepreneurs around me. I always inspired to, one day I can do that, or I can do that. And it really all started off like that I just wanted to do things that other people were doing. So I had that goal in mind when I was a young child, really. I always knew that the vehicle that I was going to use was property. So I started off doing small steps, baby steps. I, of course, got a job and I was self-employed. So I've been in all the areas of having a job, been self-employed, been an investor, and been in business. But that's taken the course of about 20 years, really. And I started off renovating properties for other people and learning everything that happens in a renovation, all the tradespeople. I started off with smaller houses, so little terraced houses, and then worked up to 2 beds, then 3 beds, then 4 beds. And I also did semi-detached and then detached, then went into the new build. So I started off small and then worked my way up, but I absolutely love renovations. I think they're great. That's the process that I like.
Yeah, brilliant. So, I mean, were you obviously you knew property was something that you wanted to do? Was that because you are surrounded by people who are already doing it? Like, I mean, how did you stumble upon specifically property?
How did I start? At the beginning, it was because I suppose throughout history, what I was taught at school, that the wealthy people in the world owned land and owned buildings. And I knew that successful people in the world owned lots of houses, lots of property, lots of real estate. Some of my family members are into property as well. There are I've got a lot of business owners in my family as well. So I definitely knew that was the way that I was going to go.
Yeah. Brilliant. Now, when we talk about, property and business, I mean, property specifically, there is a say that there's typically 3 things that you need. You need the time, the knowledge and the experience, and the money. Yeah. So when you started, where would you say, like in a combination of these three things, the time, knowledge, and experience, or the money, what was the mix of what you had, to get started at that early age?
At the beginning, it was just all time. So it was working a 9-to-5 job and then doing the property on top to gain the experience. I was working a lot in the property world, doing the renovations. I was working early mornings, late nights, weekends, all to gain that experience. Over each property you do, you gain more and more knowledge of what you've got to do, what's going to come up. I'm still learning now. I mean, there's still stuff going on in property all the time, but you have got to put a lot of time in, really. And then you start to learn about the refinancing and how to build the money up and keeping tenants happy and keeping tradesmen happy. It's all a big learning curve, really.
Wow, that's absolutely great. Now, these days we talk a lot about mindset and being in the right frame of mind to pursue whatever it is that you're passionate about. Like you're passionate about property, and you seem to be in the right frame of mind to actually enjoy the challenges and enjoy the day-to-day things that are involved in property. I mean, what would you say is the role of mindset, and what's the importance of that, and how has it helped you in your journey?
Mindset for me is very important. I've always done things that I love. Anything that I like doing, I focus and go towards that. If there's anything that I'm not that keen about or don't enjoy doing, I'll delegate that to somebody else and I won't do that. I think that's really important. I've always done that throughout my life. So there was, when I loved playing sport, I played sport. When I loved traveling, I went traveling. Property, I love property. Golf, I love golf. I've always done things that I love doing. I think that's so important. It keeps the spark going, doesn't it? It keeps you excited. It keeps you wanting to go and do things. Like I love going to work because I know I love what I do. So I think that is so important. I wouldn't ever be able to live my life getting up for work thinking, I don't want to go and do work today. I would get into an area of something that I love to do. And I've always done that. I think that's so important.
That's great to know, actually. But some people could say it's so very easy to sort of follow your passion and do something you like if maybe you've got the right resources, maybe the money that you can support yourself. Because some people find themselves that they have to do something else first, maybe to earn a living before they can follow and do something that is their passion. What would you say in that process, actually?
I think you've got to do it. I mean, I think we've all been there. We've all got to do it. And just to keep aiming really high, just aim for what you want at the end. And I suppose there's not really an end. It's all a journey, but keep looking forwards up to that thing that you want to do, that goal that you want to go for. And then goals keep increasing. And I think that's really important to know what you want. But write down your goals and absolutely go for it. And it does take time to get there. It's not just going to happen overnight. But if you've got it in mind what you want, and just to keep going for that and then keep driving to that. And then when you get to that, then you want something further ahead as well. And that's just the journey of life, and to stay positive. There's lots of ups and downs. There is along the way. There's lots of challenges. There's lots of down days, but you've got to then pick yourself out of it and be grateful for all the things that you've currently got in your life. whether it be your health or your family or your friends, and just think of all those great things that you've got, and then drive on again up to what you want to do.
Brilliant. How did you find, because you mentioned earlier on you were sort of doing a 9 to 5 and also after work or when you can fit in doing the property as well. How did you find that balancing a 9 to 5 and also doing something on the side? And then when it came to the time to pursue property full time, how did you make that decision, to actually go for it full time and leave the 9 to 5?
For me, it was a gradual process. So I basically worked a lot. I worked a lot to begin with, and it's almost like as the property increased, the other jobs decreased. It wasn't just a full one thing and then full the other. It was doing both, and then the job getting a little bit less and the property getting a little bit more, and it just increased like that over quite a few years. It wasn't a quick process. And then I went down to part-time work and did the property probably full-time. And then once I got to a stage where I knew that I didn't have to do my job anymore, then I slowly worked that job off and then just went full-time into property. So it was a gradual process. I didn't
you just cut it off and went full-time, because that's one of the challenges people face as well, because whilst they are pursuing their passion around looking into property or business, they still have bills and things that are requiring a regular income. So when they're doing property and the income is not yet as regular, and they don't know where they are gonna get and when as well, it makes it a bit difficult for them to make that decision. But the way you approached it, to sort of do it not just as a one stop, although some people could do that, but give themselves a target, say maybe in a year's time or something, and then work towards that to make that transition and increase the property as well as reducing the work as well. So that's good to know. Now, in terms of challenges, you mentioned about things that can come up and difficulties and how you learn from certain things. What would you say have been your biggest challenges or things that you've faced in your property journey?
There's lots and lots. I definitely want people to know, and I probably wish I would have got a mentor a lot earlier to tell me there was going to be lots and lots of problems, because there really is. And what you've got to do is you've really got to put yourself in a solutioned mindset, that almost expect that problems are going to happen, but when they do, you just look for the way out. You look for the way to solve things. Because obviously at the beginning I was like, this is a big problem, but I've just learned to get on with the solution, and you do it quicker, and you find someone else to solve it, and you work through it. I think that's my biggest advice on getting over challenges. I've had lots and lots, things from things in property, in the houses that you didn't expect were to be there, problems with tenants, problems with tradesmen, with finance professionals. There's literally lots and lots of challenges, but all I can tell everybody, and what I've learned myself, is just accept it. Just accept that problems are going to happen, but just get on and get the solution, and think of a way how you can get around it, and ask other people. People that are further ahead in the journey than you, they've probably been through it and they've probably done it. So ask somebody.
Yeah. I think you mentioned great points there around asking people, and also the help that you can get from mentors as well, just like you said, because it's all about leverage, isn't it? If you can leverage other people who, like you say, have made the mistakes, have learned from them, then you can actually cut that journey. I remember, just like you're saying, probably if you had a mentor or knew then what you know now, the progress and the period that you've achieved certain things could have probably been a bit shorter in a way. And I remember speaking to Rob Moore, who is one of your mentors as well. He was saying the same thing, that he could have accelerated his progression had he known certain things. But with everything, it's all lessons anyway. Now you learn, then you can move even quicker as well. And in terms of the challenges as well, obviously we've had this lockdown, and I was listening to your podcast with Rob as well, and you've managed to achieve amazing results in a period when everyone is thinking everything has slowed down. It's so difficult to do things, but you've just gone out there and killed it. How did you manage that?